Hi folks, Bob Collins for Diver Supply. Now, the new Mission 2 by Atmos has been out for a couple of months. The issue is they've been selling so fast we haven't hardly been able to keep them in stock. The Mission 2 is a fairly big improvement over the Mission 1 that you folks have seen me do a video on. And one of the big improvements and some of the big discussion out there is about the Apple Watch Ultra. And of course, you have seen, and if you haven't seen, I'll put a link up there. I've got a couple of videos about the Ultra, and those videos speak for themselves. So if you'll jump over and take a look at those, you'll see what I'm talking about. The Atmos Mission 2 takes the Mission 1 like a dozen steps forward. Now, first of all, people say, what is the water resistance, or what is it waterproof to? Now, this doesn't have a bunch of asterisks by it that limit what you're going to see as far as being able to use it. It's 300 feet is the water resistance on this dive computer. And the best way I can describe this dive computer is the fact that the Mission 2 is a dive computer with some smartwatch abilities. But one of the cool things is, if you look at a lot of the things the Garmin M2 series does, then guess what? The M2 does many of those same things. Now, a couple of things I want to point out. This is the composite case, which is really nice. Any of the bezels or any of the metal parts that you see on the computer, they're 316 stainless steel. The glass that's in these dive computers is what we call sapphire glass. Again, quality dive watches have sapphire glass. A mid-level color dive computer, does it have AI? No, it's not meant as a AI style computer. Can you do some of the adjustments and such to the Bullman algorithm that's in it? Sure you can. One of the first things besides how much is it is how easy is it to use. It's like a smartphone. I'm going to use that. And it can be used with an iOS smartphone. It can be used with an Android type smartphone. The Atmos app that you can move, it'll hold up to 100 dives. You can move some of those dives over to your app. And by the way, the app's free. Nice touch, right? Now, the first thing we're going to look at is it will monitor your sleep. It will count steps for you during the day. It will estimate calories. Now, when you set your GPS, it will also show you sunrise and sunset, and it'll also show you tides. And of course, you know, as a diver, especially here in Florida, we love to go down to a place called Blue Heron Bridge. Now, on this one, what you've got is you can, again, this is all based on GPS, based on interaction with your app, then you're able to monitor weather. It's a great, easy to see dive computer that does virtually everything. And at the same time, when you get done with your dive, just leave it on your wrist. A lot of times when I'm out on the sales floor, you'll see me, I'll be wearing my dive watch on my left arm, and I'll have my dive computer on my right arm. I sell a lot of the M2s. Now, matter of fact, I just had a couple of guys drive 3 hours from their home down in South Florida up here to Jacksonville. I had spoken to Mike over the phone. I'll stick a picture up here. I spoke to Mike over the phone. Him and his son got certified, and so they came up. I was able to fit them out with some great gear, and they bought 2 of the new Mission 2s. It kind of makes it a no-brainer as far as getting these. Now, again, we've got these in stock. There's going to be I believe, a Black Friday special. Now, I'm doing this right here just before Black Friday, and I think you may get a kick out of the thumbnail that I put up there. When you get ready to dive, it will ask you, okay, ready to dive, do you want to set your GPS point? This top button right here is just an up button. This is a down button. This is a select button right here. And then over here, this is a select button. Plus, it's also a button to turn the brighten up the backlight. And of course, this button down here, this is also a back and a select style button. This top button over here on this side, your off and on buttons. And it only takes about a 5-second hold to make that sort of thing work. I charged these up yesterday, and this one actually still says 100%. So there's a no-fly countdown. So during your surface interval, based on your dives, it will show you your suggested no-fly countdown. And of course, it also tracks your surface intervals. Then you can always plan your next dive. So let's take a look at what else it does. The compass that's on the M2, the compass shows right on the dive screen. You can easily follow. You don't have to go into punch into a different mode to get into and figure out where you are on a compass. And of course, like most dive computers, you're going to be able to see your ascent rate. One of the cool things about the M2, the M1 had it also, it does the visual alarm, it does the audible alarm, plus it does the haptic alarm, where it actually, you can feel it shake on your wrist, giving you a notice that it's saying, hey, look at me, pay attention. It's a great feature. You can actually set an alarm on here for, say, 45 minutes. So it alarms and reminds you what your dive time is. Hey, look, pay attention to your dive time. You've got those pretty simple things like depth alarm, low battery. You're able to, set your alarm for that. And of course, when you start your ascent, you've got your ascent rate on there. If you start going too fast, it's going to alarm. Remember, 30 feet per minute or slower. And of course, as you go in through about 19 feet, you're in your safety stop mode, and it goes into, right on the screen, it goes into your safety stop countdown. If you go into deco, it will say deco. So I'm going to put a picture up here, and it's going to show you basically what's on the dive screen. You're going to have a white block that's going to show your current depth. Up there in the left corner, you're going to be able to see your compass. And of course, you'll also be able to see your ascent rate when you begin your ascent. And down there toward the bottom at about 5 o'clock or so, you're going to see your dive time. Again, you've got complete information on your dive screen. And of course, right down there at the bottom, you've got your nitrox setting. If you're using nitrox, it'll show your setting and your mod. Now, you can also set some things like SPG reminder. Again, if you're doing something like photography or that sort of thing, you might like an extra reminder. Mod alarm, if your mod is, say, 110 feet, you might set a mod alarm at 100 feet just to let you know, pay attention to where you're at. Now, like I said, it does a lot of different activities, kind of like some of the Garmin things. It does bicycling outdoors. It does indoor cycling. It will also do skiing and snowboarding. And of course, you can also do pool swimming, and it will do open water swimming. Now, it's really easy to do firmware updates. You just go onto the Atmos website, and you can just download that little update tool. If I can do it, you can do it for sure. And I usually find charging for these, when I'm wearing it around the shop, 5 or 6 days on a charge is not unusual. Diving, usually like 3 days, takes about, a little bit less than 2 hours up to a full charge. Adventures are out there. It's up to you to go out and enjoy them. This is a dive computer with smartwatch capabilities. Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Collins for Diver Supply. And as I always say, dive safe out there. See you again soon.